Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Victoria.
And this is the Yap to That podcast,
where we chat, laugh, and decompress. Let's get yapping. Should I close that window? No, it's going to be too hot in here.
Yeah. Okay. No alcohol today. We're having sparkling cranberry mango.
And water.
Woo.
Also, I'm trying. These chairs are getting worse and worse. I might have to switch them out for something.
Oh, it's better than last time.
Last time I was editing it, we didn't post that one, but it was so squeaky.
I know. Every time I breathed.
Yes. So I'm going to try and be very still today.
Same.
Do you know what day it is today?
Friday?
Yes, but...
Oh, it's the 4-year anniversary of us all getting really fucked up.
That is also true.
In the middle of COVID.
Yep, 2021.
Yep.
It was right after.
No, there was no pandemic holding us back from going out the bars.
No. Actually, there was. They were still very strict about... We were hopping tables that night, and they were so, like...
Yeah.
Because we brought a group of people. There were, like, 8 of us, probably. At least 8 of us.
At least.
And they were, like, 4 people per table, and you can't jump tables. And I was like, well, we came here together. And you seated us at, like, opposite sides of the patio.
Yeah, so it was, like, 4 tables, but it was all us.
Yes. So we kept hopping around back and forth, and they were like, oh, no,
illegal.
thank you. Yeah, and I was like, girly, we're on, like, the pavement right now. It's
I'm wearing my mask.
Were you?
No.
Okay, I was
for
like
a brief minute to get from the door to the tables.
Did we?
I think
I
so.
definitely did not bring a mask.
That was like when you had to wear the mask when you were up and walking around, but not when you were sitting.
That's so weird. That's such a crazy time to think about.
I know. And it wasn't that long ago.
No.
And we had to do that at work, too.
I had to
so embarrassing.
wear a mask. Did I have to wear a mask at work? Where did I even... I was in school, so... I don't remember, to be honest.
We had to wear a mask the second we got up from our desks. And there's also a hot minute where we had to wear safety glasses as well.
Doing what?
Just walking to the bathroom from my desk.
That's just a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you ask
Good thing
me.
it was the office of all girls. And I wasn't looking for a boyfriend. Yep.
Well, good thing we don't have to do that anymore.
Nope.
That's all that matters. But what I was going to say, unfortunately, so today is the June solstice, like the summer solstice. So, every day after today is going to get shorter. Isn't that depressing?
Oh my god, it's been summer for like 5 minutes. But don't worry, it was winter for 12 minutes.
Yeah, literally. So I just thought I'd bring that up because this is the longest day and the shortest night of 2025 in the Northern Hemisphere.
Longest day?
Like,
and we're not out at the bars.
Yes. But that just means daylight. It doesn't mean actual time.
Okay.
The longest day would be the day that the clocks bring backwards because we get an extra hour that day. You know what I mean?
Fall back.
Yes. So in the fall,
okay,
we get more time, but it's unfortunate because
got it.
We get more sun today though, and this weekend's supposed to be like over 30 degrees out.
And you know what tomorrow is?
What?
Full cloud.
What? It said full sun.
That's Sunday.
No, oh fuck, you're right. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
I love when it's full sun when I'm in my office.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, thunderstorms.
Perfect.
But that's normal. Like, thunderstorms usually come after extreme heat. And, like, it's 34... Hello? Today was, like, 27, 29, 34, 34, 33. And then the thunderstorms will come in and it'll drop everything a little bit. Yeah. But we haven't had we have had rain for, like, months.
Yeah.
Like, today was cloudy. I thought it was going to rain.
I thought it was supposed to be sunny today, so I was so excited to lay in my tanning pool. I laid in it for, like, maybe 3 minutes.
I thought this said 1 minute, and I was like, this is the longest 1 minute of my life. Yeah, I didn't even go outside at all. I went outside to water the plants, but I was working, and then after I finished working, I got my new laptop, which you guys can't see, but it's okay. It's refurbished in excellent condition.
It looks great.
I mean, it's going to do all the things I needed to do.
That's the best price you would ever pay for a laptop, so.
Yeah, all the other ones that were cheaper were, like, dog shit. Matthew was like, I wouldn't even buy this if I were you. And he got his last laptop brand new. I got my last laptop brand new, but it's just, like, The cost of laptops these days is absurd.
I know, the one I want is $2,000.
Yeah, like the MacBooks I was looking at were a couple thousand or like $2,500. And I just can't justify it because I'm not using my laptop all the time. Like, I really just use it for this random job stuff. Like, nothing crazy. I'm not in school anymore, so I don't need a fancy, insane laptop. So I was like, whatever, I need it for this stuff. So I'll just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
And it's working, so that's good.
It looks great.
That's what matters. It honestly is like, I thought it was the same one as my work laptop, but it's not. Matthew and I were going over the specs. He's like, your work laptop's way better. I'm like, well, I would hope so. They have the money for good, whatever that is, technology. So I do not have that.
Oh gosh, Matthew would be ashamed of my work laptop.
Yeah, you have a Surface, don't you?
It's the worst thing ever.
You don't even have like, isn't it just like an iPad with a keyboard?
Yeah, basically.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's unfortunate, but
I know. It's fine. I digress.
I also think that my mom is going strawberry picking tomorrow, and I kind of want to join her. I haven't messaged her yet, but I think I want to.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah, because I just want to be outside. And if it's overcast, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Where do you do that?
I don't know where she wants to go. I think there's a strawberry festival. Let me double check.
That'd be so cutesy.
And I want to go to like little markets and festivals and shit like that. Like, I've been wanting to go.
My dad said we're going to the market before we go to Nana's tomorrow.
Which one?
I think just a...
Oh my gosh, I wanted to go to that one too.
I just name dropped our city.
We literally say our street names all the time. I'll blurb it out.
Okay.
I'll bleep it out.
It's not that deep.
But my mom's going to the Milton Festival.
Oh, okay.
And I'll say that because we could be anywhere in the country and still go to Milton. But yeah, so maybe I'll ask her what time she's going. I did want to go to the mall one too because I saw it on my Facebook or Instagram or something today, and I was like, oh my god, that looks so cute.
I used to go every weekend with my mom when we were children.
That's how I want to be.
Yeah, we went all the time.
Yes, I want to go to a market every Saturday. I got Matthew going to them with me once or twice, like 2 Christmases ago, because there were all the little like craft markets. And it was really cute. And we haven't gone in a while, but I want to.
Drag him with you.
Well, he's always working. I asked him to take Sunday off though.
Okay.
So that we can go to the drive-in tomorrow night.
That'd be cute.
And then we have Sunday to like hang out. Because I was like, I do want to go to the beach. And if you guys want to go alone, I'm fine going to the one here. Like, I don't really care. So we'll just go there for a little bit, maybe get some ice cream.
That's a good idea.
Right? But I really want to see the new Lilo and Stitch movie and the new Marvel movie.
You should.
Let me see if they're playing. I think they are, because they were when I checked whenever it was, like 2 weeks ago. But I just like wanted... I just want it to feel like summer. It hasn't felt like summer at all.
No. It will when we go camping.
Yes. And I am going to the cottage next weekend. So
yeah, so you're fine.
That will also feel like summer. Okay, Friday. No, I want Saturday. Hello? Give me the right day. You can order food online now? That's wild.
Is Matthew going with you next weekend?
No.
That's so rude.
Well, I told him, so I was talking to Olivia and I called her and I said, do you want to go to the cottage? And she was like, well, she said her son was supposed to be going so that my parents could do like a trial watch so that, because they're going to have him for a night when she has a concert or something. So she's like, I just want to do one night before the actual night to see if he's okay. And then I was like, okay, well, you don't have to come then, and if you want just him to go. I still want to go regardless because my dad's about to start working weekends.
Right.
So I was like, I want to go before that anyways.
Yeah.
And then she was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just come anyway. So I called her and I was like, do you want to just both go? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, if you come without, I don't want to say, I'll just bloop out his name.
Yeah.
If you come without, then we can take my car, take the 407 the whole way. Then we can leave right after I'm done work at 3:30. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
I was like, but if Matthew comes, we won't all fit in my car. But if we take your car, we can't take the 407 because you don't have a transponder.
Right.
And I don't want her to pay that much money for all of it. So I was like, if you can't come, then I'll just tell Matthew not to because he'd rather not come anyways because we're going camping 2 weeks after that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
Forgot about that. It's so soon.
It's so close. So he doesn't want to take off that weekend and then a 4-day weekend in 2 weeks just because he doesn't know, like...
Yeah, it makes sense.
You never know with his schedule. So then I called her and I was like, okay, if can't go, let me know and I'll tell Matthew to stay back. He won't care either way. So she's just going to come here on the Friday. I'm going to swap her kids' seats into my car and park her in the visitor section and then we'll go in my car.
Okay.
And then it'll just be us and...
That's
kids
so
will
fun.
sleep the whole time anyways. Sleep in the car. She says they always do. She asked us to come back late on Sunday because she likes to line up the drive with, like, close to their bedtime. And I'll be sleeping
Okay.
So,
that's so
so
fun.
it'll be cute and wholesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matthew will not be joining. He'll be watching the pets.
Aw.
And then I don't have to worry.
That's so good.
And I also haven't... Hey, Mom, if you're listening, can you watch Samantha for me when we go camping? Because I haven't... She won't care. But I haven't asked her yet.
Yeah.
So I still
Please.
have to-
Thank you. I don't
still
think
have
we
to
could
do
bring her.
We probably could, but we don't want to. And that's what really matters. Could you imagine?
No.
Neither could I.
No.
She'd also be too hot, I think.
I can't. I'm sorry.
No, I can't either. I'm not opposed. I'm not
I like
trying.
dogs. I'm sorry.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
She's just a lot.
But if we drugged her the whole time, she'd be fine. But I don't want to drug my dog.
No. And I don't think we can bring her to the grotto.
Just throw her in the water. Cool her off a little
Oh,
bit.
God.
Not in an aggressive way. Maybe she
No.
likes swimming. I don't know. I've never taken her swimming.
Animal abuse, maybe. Oh my
Just
god.
like let her swim a little bit. There's a dog that does that.
Tiny
in Malta
paddle.
that cliff jumps with its owner.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Oh my god. They don't have the same... That's so rude. Is that movie not in theaters anymore?
I have no idea.
My god. It's not. Okay, well, I'll just go early for Lilo and Stitch and then leave after that.
Yeah.
That's depressing. Maybe the Hamilton one has it, but I'll figure that out later. It's not my concern right now. But one more thing,
Okay.
and then I'm ready to get into our life here a little bit. I saw this guy post on Facebook today that he does he does photo shoot. Well, not just horse photo shoots, but any photo shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing a promo, and it's like pay $25 and then pay whatever you can. So $25 to book the spot, and then you pay whatever you're able to for like the photo shoot.
Okay.
And that comes with 5 photos. So
5 photos total?
5, yeah. Photo shoots are like that.
Like you get 5 photos?
Yes.
Okay.
But you could pay extra for the additional photos. Like,
Okay.
pay whatever you want for the first 5, and then you can pay per photo after that.
Okay.
That's how photography business is. Like, you pay $200 and you get like 10 photos sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I haven't gotten professional photos with Kadir in so long. I've gotten them once as a Christmas gift, probably like 3 years ago maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, how cute would it be if we went and took them? And then I posted in my Barnes Facebook page and was just like, if anybody else wants to, we can just all do it one day. And then everybody can have their photos.
Right.
So I'll bring Samantha and Matthew. We can take little photos. He did not look impressed when I said
No,
that.
I can't imagine he would like
He
that.
was like, what? It's like, we don't have any nice photos together.
He'd go, I'm working that day.
No, he would take that day off. I would make sure that happened.
Good luck, Matthew.
So I would like to make that. I think it'd be cute.
I think so too.
We don't
but
have
I
any.
know he would hate it.
No. He would love it. We got one really nice photo of me, Kadir, Matthew, and Samantha once. It's on my fridge.
Really?
Yeah, it was at the Christmas party. They took it's like a photo booth, and it prints a full photo.
Oh, okay.
And it's been on our fridge, and we gave one to his parents.
Aw, that is cute.
It was cute.
Aw.
So we have that. But I've been wanting to do photo shoot for a really long time. And we
That'd
could
be
just
cute.
fancy. I could wear a little dress.
Yeah.
And then hop on his back and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That'd be very wholesome.
I know. Okay. That is all. That is all
Okay.
of my life updates today. But hello, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks for chatting with us for 13 minutes.
Christ.
That's okay. We're fluffing up the episode. We have a very great... I'm actually really excited for this one.
Okay. I'm
'Cause-
intrigued to know what you have in store for us.
Okay, I had to... Don't come at me. I will put my references in this. But I had to use ChatGPT to organize my thoughts because I basically put everything in and I organized it how I wanted it. But then I felt like I was repeating stuff. And I was like, can you just put this in an organized form? Because I can't... I'm repeating myself too much here. So these are my thoughts. These are not ChatGPT eyes. And I went through and made sure it was mine.
Okay.
But I was repeating myself too much. And I was like, no, we don't need this.
No, that's okay.
So today's topic is gaslighting.
Woo!
Woo! So, gaslighting is the manipulation of someone into questioning their perception of reality. So, it's a method of gaining control by breaking down a person's trust in themselves and increasing dependency on the manipulator. Which, do you know much about how much of gaslighting do you know?
Well, what you just said was my screenshot of my research. So,
But did you know anything before looking into it?
a little bit.
Okay.
But it's more so like in a situation I'm like, you're gaslighting me right now.
Yeah, like I've only seen or heard like the toxic traits of gaslighting. I'm not saying that there's a non-toxic way of doing it, but it's not always like intentional. And I actually wanted to talk about this because I was at my sister's at some point in the winter, and her husband was making pancakes or grilled cheese. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was grilled cheese. And one of my nieces was like, I don't like that cheese. And he was like, no, you do. You like it. It's the right cheese. And my sister was like, you're gaslighting her. And I never looked at it in that context because he's not trying. He's just.
Yeah, it's not in a mean way.
Yeah, it's just like, you like this cheese. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just like, if you think you like it, you'll eat it and you'll like it type of thing.
Yeah.
But I never thought about it in like everyday, day-to-day words like that.
No, me neither, actually.
Right? That's kind of what sparked me wanting to do this conversation, because I was like, we only hear about it on social media right now, where it's incredibly negative. And that's not me saying that's not negative. Like, it is. That's the whole point of this. But intent matters, and I'll talk about that later. But it's actually a form of psychological abuse where someone is led to doubt their own sanity, memories, or perception. So victims of gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, or unsure of themselves. It can begin gradually, especially in relationships. Often there's a honeymoon period before manipulation starts, which is like that with any sort of manipulation or abuse.
Yeah.
It's never...
I would hope it's not right off the bat.
No one just abuses you on the first date and you're like, that's my man.
I love that.
I mean, some of us do, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, no. We're not going to go down that road.
No. The abusive partner may begin suggesting that the victim is unreliable, forgetful, or mentally unstable. Over time, they may start to believe these things and depend on their abuser to recall memories or make decisions for them. So not only are you doubting yourself, but you rely on that person to make sure what you're saying is true, or like fact check your own statements.
Okay.
It's used to control the moment, avoid accountability, or stop conflict, often at the expense of the victim's mental well-being. I also never realized it was used to stop conflict. So like, if you're in a discussion with somebody and I'm like, no, I know that I'm right, or I know I remember it this way. And then if you were to say something along the lines of, your memory's been failing you lately, you couldn't possibly recall this properly, then you're shutting down that whole argument. There's no conflict anymore, because that person's already like, no, you're right, because I'm questioning myself.
Okay. Interesting.
Right? I didn't
think about it that way either.
No. So it's often a learned behavior. It's developed through observing others or personal experiences, and can function as a form of self-regulation or co-regulation, which I don't really understand how that happens. Like, I don't know what you'd be regulating.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that you're superior over someone else, which is wrong.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess so. That makes sense.
Maybe.
Studies do show that gaslighting is more prevalent in relationships where one or both partners have maladaptive personality traits or mental health conditions such as depression, PTSD, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, ADHD, substance use disorders, or co-occurring conditions. So that being said, anybody can gaslight somebody else and whatnot, but it's more common in these relationships when these people have these other mental health conditions going on.
Right. And I feel like it's more reoccurring in relationships rather than like a friend or coworker situation.
It's more prevalent in those, but it can happen in friendships, home relationships, like parent to child, siblings. I think I talk about that later on too. But I think you see it more in codependent relationships because somebody is depending on somebody else, and so like you have to have that level of trust, and if you can't trust yourself, you're fully reliant on that, and then that's how people isolate people.
Right. Then
you lose friends and you lose your family because everything you do is based on this one person's.
And then you're just in a bad situation.
Yeah, and then you're in a horrible situation. I think I told you the origin of the term, though, once. I think I briefly told it to you.
I think so.
So this blew my mind. I didn't know. So the term gaslighting comes from the 1938 play Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton. First of all, that's how old the term is. 1938, almost 100 years old.
That's like a long time ago.
88 years old. The story is a psychological thriller set in Victorian London featuring a couple, Bella and her husband Jack. She begins to slowly but surely doubt her sanity because Jack is emotionally abusive, flirts with servants in front of her, and frequently disappears without explanation, which creates anxiety for her. While he's doing this, he's deliberately manipulating her by moving objects, hiding things, and this big one, dimming the gas lights in the house, and then denying he has any... denying he does it when she asks. So gaslight comes from that action of him turning the lights down in the olden days. They had literal gas lamps. So in this play, it's set with that. So his ultimate goal was to make his wife appear insane so he can have her institutionalized and then steal her inheritance. Everything. So the play
That's
ended up
a well thought out plan.
exactly, and it's terrifying that somebody can make you that crazy, send you away, and then you owe me everything now.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So the play was adapted into 2 successful films in the 40s, and the term gaslighting became widely used in the mid-2010s to describe this specific type of emotional and psychological abuse. So it's not just one of the, it's both.
The term 2010s is crazy. That was not that long ago.
It's 10 years ago.
We were in high school in the 2010s.
No, we weren't. Well, yeah, we were, but
Yeah.
not in 2010.
No.
We were
Later
just
on.
little babies.
Yeah, just a little while later.
Examples of gaslighting behavior can be questioning memory. So, are you sure? You always forget things. Fake confusion or refusal to engage. So, I don't know what you're talking about. And this drives me crazy because I feel like I've been in so many arguments where I'm like, hey, this is upsetting me. And they're like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm just running around in circles and I'm like, I just told you what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And then I'm like up to here and I'm so mad. And I'm like, I don't even want to have this conversation anymore.
Yeah, and they're just like,
And
what?
then I do feel crazy because I'm like, am I making all this up if they don't understand what I'm talking about? So that one I definitely can relate to. Belittling feelings by calling someone too sensitive. Lack of accountability, telling someone that never happened. Changing the topic or questioning credibility. So you read that nonsense online. Your facts aren't straight. That's not a reliable source. And I don't want that one to get taken out of context because some people do just spit like Facebook facts. And like there is a reliable source and then there's like what someone posted on a meme on Facebook because like memes, anybody can write anything. I think our ice cream is coming.
Okay, pause.
Ice cream break. Do you want to sit? Do you want to sit with us?
For what?
Are you gaslighting me right now? Would you like to join this episode? I think you might get something out of it. It's a gaslighting episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm a prime example of a gaslighter. Make sure you're recording this.
Here. Willow will play with that.
Why? Is it on tape there?
Yeah.
Actually? Oh, no.
Remy.
I was forced to say that prior to this.
You don't have to be that close
Look
to
at
the
the ice
mic.
cream on my leg.
Oh my god, that's gross.
Yeah. And I didn't even get lonely in the car.
Ew.
This is why Matthew doesn't join our podcast episodes usually.
I would get you guys more views.
That would be nice.
There you go. Guest appearance.
And we're back.
And we're back. I got some ice cream energy.
Yep.
Oh shit, I just closed the note.
Oh, your research?
Where was I? Changing the topic or questioning credibility. I think I just said that one. You read that nonsense online. So yes, you can get false information. And like if
100%.
somebody's just like, I saw an Instagram reel that said Elon Musk get married like
Yeah, like the Dumois posts and
Yeah.
TMZ videos. Like,
yeah, like you have to be legit. Like
yeah.
this isn't some weird conspiracy or anything. But like for the most part, if you're finding something out and someone's like, you just found that online, like whatever, without actually asking you where you got that, they're belittling you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 common gaslighting tactics. And I think you sent me this too. But there's the first one, which is countering. So undermining your memory by questioning the accuracy. Second one is withholding. So pretending not to understand or refusing to listen. Trivializing, belittling emotions, saying someone's overreacting. Denial, pretending to forget the events or shifting blame. Diverting, which is distracting or attacking the other's credibility. And stereotyping, which this one actually floored me yesterday. I was like, holy shit, I never thought about it like this. But using gender, race, or a minority status to discredit someone. For
Right.
example, a woman reporting harassment or abuse or anything and being like, no one will believe a woman if you report this. Like no one will.
That's
right?
gaslighting?
Yes, because you're
Interesting.
trying to make that person feel like they're not credible.
Right.
So like
Interesting.
You're crazy for even reporting this because no one would believe you just because you're a woman, basically.
I hate that.
Yeah. Not a fan. Don't recommend.
No,
Don't
definitely
gaslight
not.
people.
No. Do you think the silent treatment is a form of gaslighting?
I think the silent treatment is more of a form of manipulation. Well, it can be. I'm not saying all the time, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a direct form of gaslighting, but I think it's a form of manipulation sometimes. But it can be because if somebody's coming to you directly and being like, "Hey, I want to talk this out and get to a solution," and you refuse to discuss with them, and like to a point where it makes somebody else think they're crazy, makes someone else think that what their perception of what their reality was false, like it can be a form. But for the most part, I would think it's just manipulative. Like,
Right.
you want to get your way. I'm not going to talk until you say what I want to hear. Like, it's just
Yeah.
shitty
Not great.
manipulation. If you're like, "Hey, we had this argument. I need a day to think with my thought." Like, there's a respectful and appropriate
Yeah, it's all the way it's gone
term of-
about.
Yeah, exactly. Intent. And we just talked about this. So gaslighting can happen in parent-child dynamics, romantic relationships, sibling or family conflicts, friendship, and workplace settings. Which, crazy. Hello?
Yeah. Crazy.
Here are some signs that you may be experiencing gaslighting. This is from Robin Stern, who has a PhD, and he is the author of the book, The Gaslight Effect. So, if you're constantly second-guessing yourself, that's a sign that you may be experiencing gaslighting. Asking yourself, "Am I too sensitive?" multiple times a day, because somebody has made you feel like your reactions are out of proportion and not fair, which is not true. You always apologize to your partner. You feel like you should be happy, but you're not. You make excuses for your partner's behavior. You hide information from friends, family to avoid explaining things. That's just another general, like, this can be gaslighting, but also anytime you're being manipulated or abused, you end up becoming isolated. So with gaslighting, if somebody's gaslighting you, that's also a tactic to isolate you from your friends and family.
Yeah.
Because if your partner, who you love and trust, can't trust your words, why would your family trust what you're saying?
Right.
Right? It's like the boy who cried wolf. You know something's wrong, but you can't express it clearly. You've started lying to avoid put-downs or conflict. You struggle with simple decisions. You feel like you used to be more confident, fun, or relaxed. You feel hopeless, joyless, or like you can't do anything right. And you ask yourself if you're a good enough partner. So all these things that you're asking yourself, all these feelings that you're having, are often put onto you by the person who's doing the gaslighting because they're telling you those things.
Interesting.
So like the voice in your head, "Am I not a good enough partner?" That's because that's their voice telling it to you aloud.
I see.
Right? Like,
That's scary.
it is scary how somebody else's voice can be in your head, but you hear it as your own.
Yeah. And like how long that can go on for after, even if you're not with that person.
Oh yeah, there's so many things that people have said to me that like I still think to this day, not about myself, but like subconsciously, like it pops up and I'm like, whose voice am I actually hearing? It's not mine.
Yeah.
Like, who was the person that said this to me however long ago?
Yeah.
Because that's scary to think of too.
I feel that way too. Except I can't remember who said what. I just know I've heard certain
Well,
things.
that's what I mean. Like, you never... I feel like who said it to you goes away eventually, and it becomes your own thoughts, but they're not your own. They're not your original thoughts.
Yeah.
You didn't wake up one day and look at yourself and be like, "I don't like my tummy."
Yeah.
Those are thoughts that, whether someone said it to you directly or said it to society indirectly,
Right.
it's someone else's thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't wake up and go, one day, "I don't like that." Why don't you like that? Oh, shit. Why don't you like that? Because somebody else has said that it's not likable.
Right. Ew.
That's gross. I don't like how other people have that much control
No.
of what's going on in my own freaking head. I already have enough things going on in my head.
There's a lot going on up there.
Yes. Okay, so intent versus impact. Not all gaslighting is intentional, but the impact is still harmful. And that's what I was saying before. Especially like in the situation with my brother-in-law being like, "No, you do like this cheese." He's not intending to gaslight her. He didn't even know it was gaslighting. I didn't even know it was gaslighting. But your impact is still harmful because then she could be like, "No, I know that I don't like this cheese and he's telling me I should." So then there's another type of conflict and you don't trust yourself.
I have a reverse to that.
What?
Anytime I'm anywhere and there's like a different food or something, I'll be like, "Jess, do I like this?" And she'll be like, "Yes or no."
Honestly, I do that with a lot too. But that's not gaslighting. But it's good to have those people who know you well enough that you do trust to help you make decisions.
Yeah, because if it's not, "Do I like this?" is, "Will I like this?"
Yeah, exactly. I'm also, on that note, I always have to go out and eat food with other people, because if I go out alone, I'm just going to get the same generic thing, because if I don't like it, I'm not going to eat it. But if somebody else is there, I could swap with them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
That's why it was so hard for me when I was in Europe, like when I was in Italy, to go out by myself, because I was like, what if I don't like this? Then I'm just eating the same thing.
Not fun.
I know. I did meet one old guy, though. He was so nice. He was sitting beside me at the table.
Oh my God.
Asked me what I was doing alone, and I was like, oh, I'm just traveling alone. Not very safe of me to tell people this information,
No,
but it was
probably
fine. He was very sweet. We chatted, and it was very nice.
We won't let you do that again, though.
I won't go alone.
No.
Not for 3 weeks.
No, that's so long.
I won't say never again, but not for a very long time. Okay. So, gaslighting is harmful regardless of if it's intentional or not, but when it's intentional, that's when it's intentional manipulation. Some people gaslight without malicious intent as a form of emotional self-protection, deflection, or learned behavior. So the self-protection is interesting because I don't really understand how... Oh, actually, I do understand how that could be. If you start looking stupid to somebody, and they're like, no, I actually know this, and you gaslight them, then you're safe because you can manipulate them into thinking that you're right even when you're not.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
No, but... Because at first I was like, how would it protect you? But it makes sense.
Yeah, because they could be like, that's really stupid. And you could be like, okay, and?
Yeah, you're deflecting, like, their negative behavior, or their negative perception of you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
We can try that.
We'll work on that. Clarifying the difference between intent versus impact helps to differentiate abuse from poor communication or emotional immaturity. So gaslighting becomes abuse when it's used consistently to gain power or control over someone else. And I think that's important. If you're gaslighting someone because you don't know what you're doing, understood.
Yeah.
Not understood, like, still don't do it. But you can become educated. But if you know what you're doing and you're using it for a specific reason, not cool.
Yeah, I know I've used it in situations where I know the other person is trying to, like, talk down to me, but, like... No way I'm going to allow that.
I'm not going to let the gaslight. I'm not going to get gaslit. I'll be the gaslighter.
Exactly. I'll one-up you.
Yeah, I'm going to gaslight you, you idiot.
Yeah, and I swear I'm not a bad person.
No, you are not a bad person. I don't know how it works either. Like, is someone who is a constant gaslighter able to be gaslit as well? Or are they so good at manipulation that they don't fall for those things?
I feel like if you just have a good line or something, like...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you can just shut it down.
Yeah.
I also guess
But
it's
it
like
depends.
confidence. Yeah, like if someone's trying to gaslight you and you're confident in what you're saying, you have the power to not be gaslit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not
Depends.
everybody.
It's very
obviously.
circumstantial.
But if you're in a situation where someone's arguing with you and gaslighting you and you're like, I know what happened. I know the truth. I don't care what you say. I'm still holding my own.
Yeah.
Then you're not falling for their...
Yeah. Because I also think if you know the truth, you're not fighting for them to realize it.
Exactly.
It's just kind of like, okay.
Usually, if you're manipulating somebody else, that's because you're in a weaker place and you're deflecting, like it said. Like, you're just trying to get better or feel better or make someone think better of you because you're already probably pretty low. You're actually probably a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You need to feel better about yourself. Okay, so there's gaslighting in institutions and society. And so it's not limited to personal relationships. Workplaces, for example. If you come out of a meeting with somebody and you're like, wow, that was such a good meeting, that was so productive, and someone's like, that's not going at all the way that you said it, that's gaslighting. Again, that depends on intent and impact and whatnot. Like, some people you can just say something and not have it.
Yeah. And that could be
Being
like
negative.
total mindset too. Like,
Yeah.
Because I think you'll have a different reaction if you're like hating your job versus
Yes.
the person next to you who's like fine with it.
Yes. And I also think it's important to note that I may have a good meeting and someone else could have a bad meeting. And we could be in the exact same meeting. Two things can be true.
Yeah.
But it's your mindset. It's your perception. Where are you in your current day-to-day? Like, what's going on in your life? Are you going to take that away? But it becomes a problem when you're like, I think that was really productive. And they're like, no, it wasn't, because I just got shit on. And it's like, well, you getting shit on was probably productive. So you could change your behavior.
Yeah.
Before,
Why
whatever.
did that happen?
Exactly. In healthcare, gaslighting is often found with women. Neurodivergent patients, oftentimes they're dismissed because it's like, oh, it's your cycle. Oh, it's your hormones.
My God.
It took my mom like almost a decade to get diagnosed with one of her illnesses. Like, this was a long time ago now, but over and over again, she was going to the doctor, and they were like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine. I mean, even to this day, with other stuff. They're like, oh, there was nothing wrong with you. The pain is in your head. This, that, and the next
That's
thing.
terrible.
And it's like, if you were a man who went into a doctor, like your dad, for example, your dad, and I don't know exactly, correct me if I'm wrong, but like your dad's healthcare with the issues that he was having lately did not last like 10 years to diagnose him. Right?
No.
He got in very early. They took his concerns pretty fast, and he got treatment very fast as well, and on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, if you were, I mean, when I went to the doctor last year, I was telling my doctor, I was like, these are the symptoms that I'm feeling. I think it's associated with my birth control pill. I want to go off the pill. And she's like, oh, it's not. We didn't run a test.
Yeah.
We had no pre-blood work to determine how my blood work was now to compare it to.
Yeah.
And she just went, there's no reason for you to want that. There's nothing wrong with your cycle. And I'm like, I'm telling you.
Without any tests, how can you be sure?
Exactly. So I'm coming to you with these concerns, and that's where you're supposed to go ahead and confirm or deny based off of the science, like the facts.
Not just opinion.
And she was like, well, I don't want you to go off the pill. Keep in mind, this is my first appointment with her. Why would you not want me to go off the pill? Why does it matter to you what I'm doing with my body? I'm just coming to you to get the prescription, to get the help. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I never went back, but
Yeah. I didn't go back to the doctor that referred me for an IUD. Yeah. She was like, you can choose between one of these two. And I was like, both of them sound like shit.
yeah.
So I just never called back and never did it. But she did give me a prescription for both of them. And she's like,
really?
Yeah. She's like, I'll give you both and then you decide.
I feel like deciding to not take one is also an option. But they don't really, like, did you feel rushed when you were there?
Oh, yeah. Because it was like, you get one of these two options and that's it. And I was like, well, what about the 12 other options?
Yeah. And she was just like,
No.
this is easiest for me.
Yeah. This is what we're going with. And I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. So it happens a lot in healthcare. Women, people of color, all that jazz. So not ideal.
No,
And
not at all.
it drives me crazy because then you feel crazy. And, like, I remember when my doctor was like, these aren't a side effect of the pill. And I was like, but I think that they are.
Isn't the side effects of the pill like this much?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, but that's why I'm
Like
here.
a sheet like this big.
Yeah,
That's folded up this
I had
big.
a booklet, like, with a spine and
Yeah.
everything. Like, I'm telling you that these are my concerns and you're supposed to take them seriously, and you're not. So am I wrong? Like, do I not know my body that I've been living in for 25 years? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? That's terrifying. So I can't imagine even being, like, we're, as women in general, we're a minority, but I can't imagine being even more of a minority and not having those,
Yeah.
like, that acts, oh, that's horrible.
It's a hard world out there.
It's a hard world.
It's not nice.
Another gaslight that you see in society is in media or politics. So, revising history, denial of lived experiences, telling a marginalized group that their discrimination is imagined and is a form of systemic gaslighting.
God.
So, people living in poverty, for example, being like, you could just get out of poverty. You could just buy a house. You could just... And it's
Just
like,
do better.
yeah, but that happens. Did you hear? I'm not going to get political because I don't really know anything about politics.
Yeah,
but
me either.
our, what is he? Premier made a jab at Indigenous people, saying that all they want all the time is handouts and they have to work. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, they do work. Second of all, nonetheless, they still have rights as Indigenous people.
Oh, gosh.
Like, how could you publicly say that and tell them that they're not, so hire them?
That's a tricky situation.
Right?
Oh, God.
So it's like you're being gaslighted and told that you're not working hard enough when they are working incredibly hard, and you're not giving them the resources. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'll kick you when you're down and then tell you that you're down.
Oh, God.
I won't provide you the resources, but I'll tell you you're not working hard enough. But I'll give these people resources.
So it's a lose-lose.
Exactly. And that's how gaslighting can feel. Because it's like, I'm doing everything that I can, and it's still not enough. I'm still, like, down here when other people have it so easy, basically.
Right.
So that happens a lot politically. The long-term psychological effects, so there's quite a few, but chronic gaslighting can lead to anxiety, depression, complex PTSD, learned helplessness, and difficulty trusting yourself or other people. Survivors may struggle with decision-making, self-worth, and rebuilding confidence. So healing and recovery. Recovery starts with recognizing the behavior, which is the same across any sort of manipulation. Any sort of healing, you have to recognize your behavior. Talk to someone who's trusted. Go to therapy, especially trauma-informed or abuse-focused therapy, and then reconnect with your inner voice and judgment. That's all done through therapy. You can't really productively do that alone, I don't think.
Right.
My inner voice is just telling me to shut up all the time. My inner voice. Oh my God. 1 second. I'll get to this in a minute.
Okay.
Mentioning that leaving the relationship isn't always easy or safe and may require support, planning, or professional help. So know that if you're in that situation, it's not always going to be easy because you've been trained to not trust other people. You've been trained to not trust yourself. So it's like, am I really in a situation that's that bad? And I had this when I got out of my last relationship. I was like, was it really that bad? Not that I thought that, but I was like, was I when you step back?
Did I overreact?
Yeah. Did I overreact? And I was made to feel like that so many times. I remember there was one time where I had a recording of stuff and I showed my stepmom and my dad. I think it was like Easter or whatever, because they asked me, they knew about how things were, and they were like, how are things? Like, everybody in my family had left. It was just me and them. So we were talking about how things were in the house. And I showed them this recording and they were like, that's fucked up. And to me, I was just like, I deserved that. I deserved whatever. I was told that I was the reason for the reactions. So for me, it was like, well, if I don't act like that, then I wouldn't get that reaction. Or if I didn't have a problem with this, I wouldn't get that reaction. And it's like, no, that's because you're trained to be that way so that you don't have people to rely on. And you stay quiet. And you
were really quiet and isolated.
And I was very quiet and isolated. Like,
yeah. Because you've done like a full 360 since then. Because now you talk to me about everything.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Sarah did, even after I got out of that relationship, you still didn't know.
No.
Like, I don't think even until relatively recently, like, you knew stuff. But also, like,
not to the
depths. Yeah. So it's just like, you get into those situations where you do feel crazy because you're like, I'm reacting this way, and it's like, you're overreacting and your feelings aren't valid. It's like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling, no matter if they're overreacted or not, your feeling is valid. Your actions are what matter.
Yeah.
You could be insanely mad and like spend time alone and go through that feeling and then come out and have a discussion. Or you can be insanely mad, smash plates, break things, and whatever. And it's like, your feelings, how you felt during that mental breakdown is valid, but your actions are not okay.
No.
And that's where that difference is.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where it's too extreme.
Exactly. And at that point, like, no, you're not overreacting in your feelings, but you're overacting.
Yeah, when you're hurting other people.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it's not always going to be easy to leave. It's not always going to be easy to recognize either, because somebody has trained you, especially depending on how long. If you've been in a relationship for like 10 years, and you've been isolated for 10 years, and you fully rely emotionally, financially, everything on somebody else who's made you believe that you're not good enough to leave the relationship, because I hear this a lot. People are like, I can't leave because I could never figure out my own finances. Because this person has told you that you're too stupid, you don't work, you won't make it if I'm not providing for us.
Right.
That's an option. And this isn't just man, women. Like, women can manipulate the same way.
Yeah, it can go either way.
Yeah, it's not one or the other. But the first step in healing from gaslighting is learning to trust yourself again. I can make finances work. I am capable of getting groceries for myself.
Doing better.
I'm capable of finding a job. So I think that's the biggest thing. And that's with like any manipulation or traumatic relationship. Like, usually you're isolated and you don't feel confident in yourself. Which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, last couple points. So why do people gaslight? They gaslight because understanding motivations helps the victim see that it's not their fault. So that's not why they gaslight. But understanding that someone's intention helps you to understand that it's not your fault. So people gaslight because they're insecure. I think we already said that too. Like, I don't want you to think I'm dumb, so I'm going to discredit what you're saying. Control, money, especially with money. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you're having kids and being the stay-at-home mom, and they are, or the stay-at-home parent, for example, and they're the working parent, you become reliant on their money because you don't work. And that's an agreement that you guys went into a relationship together, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But when it becomes to a point where it's like, I give you an allowance and you don't have a say and whatever, they're controlling your money. They're controlling, well, your social aspect too, because you can't do anything if you don't have an income.
Everything costs money.
Especially these days, damn.
Yeah.
Narcissism, which I'm not too familiar with narcissism. So
not
I can't
with
elaborate.
Like the exact definition.
Yeah,
no.
I can't elaborate too much on that one.
That can be another episode.
Yeah, that could be. But people gaslight because it's a learned pattern from childhood. So you could have gaslighting parents. And in this case, you're not like intentionally gaslighting people, but you don't trust yourself, you don't trust others, so you're telling everybody else around you that your thoughts, your ideas are better than theirs because that's how you grew up being taught. It's a superiority thing, I think. So I guess it's a learned pattern from childhood, but it's also at that point control. Some gaslighters don't want to be wrong, so they distort facts to protect their own ego. And I think that's what 99% of it is you're insecure of yourself because you're not good enough. So you're projecting that on other people.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So boundaries and prevention. Educate listeners on how to set healthy boundaries. Document things, whether those be texts, events, videos. Stay grounded in your truth. Limit or cut off manipulative communication. And practice assertive phases like, that's not how I remember it, or I'm not going to argue about my feelings. And I think that's why I said that everybody's feelings are valid no matter what, because they truly are. Like,
yeah.
You can't control your feelings, but you can control your actions. So
100%.
I think that's probably important to note, that 99% of it is somebody's insecure about themselves, and they need to feel better, and they need to feel powerful, and they're finding someone who's vulnerable, who can trust them to, like, walk all over. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's terrible. Oh my God.
Terrible, but
wow. Well, I think that was a good lesson. I
think
definitely
so,
learned
too.
a lot.
You didn't know. I didn't know too much before coming in. Like,
not to that extent.
I've heard like the regular points. Like I said, like it's kind of been a buzzword the last like 5 years. Yeah. Mostly, I think. And I just didn't really understand the context of it in a full scale. But it's something that I've been wanting to learn a little bit more about.
Yeah. I think that was good.
I think so.
Guess we could wrap it up.
Any final words?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.